Hello, it's Liz from West Star Tarot. Welcome to my channel. And today I am here to talk about my January favorites. I didn't end up doing a December favorites. I'm not sure why. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. But anyway, I want to start the new year off right. And so here I am. I actually have a list because I have quite a few things, quite a few favorites this month. So I thought I would start with YouTube. So my favorite thing on YouTube actually started I guess the beginning of January. So Masha from Musings by Masha has started a year-long tag, and it's Top Tarot Trumps. And what Masha has proposed for us to do is to go through the major arcana one by one every couple of weeks. So this will take almost a year, and pick out your favorite of each one of the majors. And she has suggested that we look at maybe 5. She said, you could do 3, you could do 7, you could do, whatever. But she's kind of seems like she's sticking with 5. So she started off obviously with the Fool and has just completed the Magician. And then up next, of course, is the High Priestess. So I thought this sounded like a really fun tag. And I love that it's going to take the whole year. So not only do we really have plenty of time to think about which majors are our favorites, but we also get to revisit each of the majors and think about the meanings, book meanings, specific deck meanings, and what the majors mean to us. So it's kind of like your favorite majors meets tarot study. And so I just love it. I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I have already filmed and posted my Fool and my Magician. And I've already started pulling the cards for my High Priestess. That's going to be a hard one for me because it is one of my favorite majors. So we'll see how I do on that one. Anyway, it's a fun tag. It's called Top Tarot Trumps. Top Tarot Trumps, yeah. And it's Musings by Masha. So check it out. There's a lot of people doing it, and join in if you feel like it, because it's really a lot of fun. It's fun seeing all the different decks that people bring forward. And already I've seen a couple that I thought, oh, yeah, I should have pulled that, or I could have pulled that. If you have a lot of decks, there's a lot of cards you like. But, we're trying to rein it in. So anyway, that's the first thing. So I'm going to jump right from that to books because these, at least the first 2 books, relate to Masha's tag. So these are 2 books, Finding the Fool by Meg Wall and Radical Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess, that I started reading last year. And I'm finding that I don't find it useful to just read straight through books that have a good portion of them talking about card meanings. So what I had been doing with both of those books was, as I pulled cards, I would look them up in those books and read about them. And both of these books have a little bit of a different take on tarot and tarot meanings than sort of your standard issue tarot book. And I'm appreciating that, and that's why I bought them, because I knew that was going to be the case. So anyway, now that I'm doing the Tarot Trump tag. It's a lot of T's. Alliteration at its finest. I'm using these books. So I'm reading about, the Fool and the Magician and now the High Priestess in each one of those books. And I have a couple other books I'm reading. And I'm looking in tarot guidebooks, especially of the favorite Trumps that I'm pulling. So those are 2 books. Then there's another thing that I'm doing that is also a year-long study, and that is a Decan study. And I first came across this idea on Marlena Teresa's channel, YouTube channel, and I think she calls it the Decan Walk. And it inspired me because I've always been interested, not always, but I have been interested in the decans and the cards and the suits and all the things that are associated with the decans. And I wasn't sure how to exactly to approach it. Again, just reading straight through. This is the book that I'm using for that, Tarot and Astrology by Corinne Kenner. She has a number of tarot books. And it's great. It's really good, helpful, organized, really good. But again, just to sit down and read straight through that book, I'm by the time I'm done, I'm like, am I going to remember any of this? Is it what's going to stick? But what I've been doing is I started this in Aries 1. We're now in Aquarius 2. And been going through the 3 decans of each sign, starting with Aries, and now we've worked our way up, and we're in Aquarius, and so then just Pisces is left. And I'm using that book as I go through each of the decans, and that's been very, very helpful and enlightening, and I've learned things about cards that I didn't know, planetary associations, all kinds of different things. So that's really been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying that. And I think I will probably, I don't know what Marlene is going to do, but I think I'm going to probably repeat the process again this year. Just repeat, because a lot of it didn't stick, and it's, as I said, it's very enjoyable, and I've learned a lot. So I'm going to repeat that process for 2024. And then this is a book I just got this month, The Cauldron and the Drum. It's a journey into Celtic shamanism by Rhonda McCrimmon. And I've just looked through it. I haven't started reading it, but, I'm interested in shamanism, and my ancestral or heredity is Celtic. My dad's parents were both from Scotland. So I thought, well, rather than looking at shamanism from somebody else's culture, why not look at it from the culture that my ancestors are from? So that's my plan. And I think this is probably going to be a year-long journey. So that I have not started, but I did get this book in January. I guess I shouldn't really be putting it as a favorite, but anyway, it is a book I got in January. All right. My animal for January. So I pulled an animal for the year. I think I did a video where I talked about it. It's a whole long story, and I'm not going to go into it again because I think I already did put a video up about it, is the phoenix. So I have a little altar with the phoenix all set up, and I will leave that out all year. But I'm also going to pull animals each month. Or if an animal speaks to me or comes across my path or whatever. There's different ways of finding out an animal for the month and for the year and for the life and whatever. But anyway, for January, this was my animal, wolf. And I really liked that because the wolf moon is the January full moon. This is a greeting card that I found in December in a local shop here near where I live. And I thought to myself, this is going on my altar for January. It's the wolf. It's got this blue, and I associate colors with months. And for me, January is blue, silver, and white. And so that's what my sacred space had, blue, silver, and white. Now in February, it's pink and purple and white and silver. So it's changed out a little bit. So anyway, this is my animal for January. Before I digress too far, wolf. And every day when I sat down at my sacred space, this being looked into my eyes and just filled me with courage and strength and beauty. So yeah, so that's wolf. This is a shameless plug for my daughter. So my daughter's name is Naomi Westwater. She's a singer-songwriter in the Boston area. And this is a CD that she released. I have been listening to in my car because that's the only place I have anything that plays a CD. I guess I should download the streaming version. I haven't done that yet, but I will. Anyway, Naomi, this is Naomi, and this is her friend Heather. They made this Yule CD together, and it's just beautiful. And if you'd like to support a struggling artist, go to Naomi's site. It's naomiwestwater.com, and check her out. Check out her music. I think her voice is gorgeous, but I am her mother. And I'm thinking, oh, should I even be plugging this? And I'm like, well, shoot, if her own mother can't plug her, who can? So I just wanted to say a little something about the last name, Naomi Westwater. And of course, my last name is Westwater. And Naomi changed her last name to Westwater a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. She thought it was more intriguing for her name as an artist and as a person who identifies as a witch, apparently. She thought that name was what she wanted to go by. So she has changed her name to Naomi Westwater. And I'm fine with that, except for I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Now do people think that I changed my name when I got married? I don't like that. I would have never done that. So just to go on the record, no, I didn't. This is my birth name. I did not change my name when I got married. I mean, if you did, fine, good for you. If I believe in people should do what they want, but that's not something I was going to do or anything I would ever do. So anyway, it's Naomi Westwater and Liz Westwater. So there we go. NaomiWestwater.com. Check her out. She is a tarot reader too, so she also does tarot readings. All right, end of promotion of my daughter, but it was a favorite, so I think it's legit. Movies, and I very rarely bring forward a favorite movie, but I have two. And actually one could be, I'm going to start with the one that could be also in music. So the Metropolitan Opera in New York does this thing where they call it Met Live in HD or something, and they stream a live production to different movie theaters all over the world, not just in the States, but all over the world. And for like $20, you can go to the movies and you can watch the whole production streamed live. And it's kind of cool because they go backstage between the intermissions and they interview the performers. They show you what it's like as they change the sets out. They go into the rehearsal room and you can see people rehearsing. So it's kind of cool. You can see the actors, the singers, the performers up close, and you can really see their facial expressions, and you get much more of a sense of their acting ability, not just their singing ability. And so what we went to see the end of January was Carmen. And I had seen Carmen actually at the Met. It was one of the first operas I had ever seen at the Met. And it's by Bizet, a French a writer, who the conductor who was interviewed between acts mentioned, and I didn't know this, that Bizet died a couple of months after after Carmen was first performed. So he was only alive for the first two performances of Carmen, and they weren't hits. So he died without realizing. I mean, it's one of the most popular, if not the most popular opera ever. And even if you don't know opera, if you listen to a recording of Carmen, you're going to hear a lot of familiar music. So a lot of the arias and the music from Carmen has made it into popular culture. Even, I would say, a Bugs Bunny cartoon from back in the day. So that was wonderful. The Met reset it in modern times. So instead of taking place where Carmen and her buddies worked at a cigarette factory in Seville, they worked in a munitions factory south of the border. I would say, I think it was in Texas. And that put a whole different twist to it. So this opera is about gender violence. And the Met tried to address that and bring that up to date. Bizet, in his behalf, was not like glorifying the violence against Carmen. I think he was making a statement about how bad that was. So anyway, I saw that and it was wonderful. Really enjoyed it. So here's Carmen in cutoff jeans, shorts, and a tank top and cowboy boots, singing. And I'm really sorry, the woman who played Carmen, I should have written it down, Aigul Akamestina, something like that. Oh my God, glorious, glorious, glorious. Not only a great singer, but a good actor too. So that was wonderful. And you can check it out. There are, I think, 5 or 6 more performances before the season's over. The series of Met HD at the theater. So check that out if you have any interest in opera. And then the other movie I saw that I really enjoyed was American Fiction. Interesting movie. Interesting, thought-provoking ending. And that's all I'll say because I don't want to do spoilers. But I did enjoy that movie quite a bit. So my favorite herb or herbal ally for the month of January and probably all year is rose. So I am one of the things that I'm doing this year is, and I did mention it in a video, is at the beginning or the end of December, beginning of January, I think it was the end of December, I thought to myself, all right, what am I going to do this year to make change in the world? The past 5, 10, 15, 20, I don't know how many years, I've been anxious, I've been angry, I've been distraught, I've been sad, and I've been really, really worried about the state of the world. And I thought about that as we approached the end of 2023, and I thought, all these years of worrying and anger and despair, have they changed the world? No, they haven't. And so I'm just walking around in despair and angry and sad and worried. So I thought, okay, I think I'm going to try a different tactic this year. And my tactic is I'm going to center joy, happiness, and loving kindness. Now, does this mean, am I saying I'm going to stick my head in the sand like an ostrich and pretend there aren't horrors happening in the world, or my own family and friends and community and myself aren't experiencing struggles and difficulties? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to ignore those things. I can't, as a human being, as a person who has feelings and wants to be ethical and loves people and the world and the earth. I can't ignore it. But I'm going to try to center happiness, joy, and loving kindness. And what I mean by that is, as I go out and about during my daily life, I'm going to try to spread happiness and joy. So when I go to the grocery store, for example, instead of just checking out, I'm going to interact, engage with the clerk and the person bagging. I'm going to let them know that I appreciate them, that, I'm going to say a joke to them or something. I'm going to ask them how they are. Not that I didn't ever do that before, but now I'm going to make a point of it. So I'm going to try to bring some happiness and joy and uplift the vibrations of the people I interact with, both the people I know and the people I don't know. So I'm thinking it's kind of like, throwing that pebble into the pond and the rings are going to spread. And I'm hoping that the rings of happiness and joy and loving kindness reach people that I'm interacting with on a daily basis, and maybe even an online basis. So, hey, to you watching this video, if you're struggling, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. I've got some heart healing going out to you. I hope something that happens in this video makes you smile, makes you happy, brings you joy in some way. So that's what I mean when I say that one of the things I'm going to be working on this year is spreading joy. So let me know what you think about that. Join the party, spread joy. I don't know. One of the places this idea came from was a couple, not last summer, but the summer before, I broke my foot. And I was in the grocery store. And, I had this boot on. And the guy that did the bagging, he was, he worked at that store for a long time. I saw him all the time, but I never really interacted with him. I was, paying for my groceries. And he said, "Oh, you hurt your foot. I'm so sorry. I hope it feels better really soon." I don't even know how he saw my foot because I was behind the counter. But anyway, he did. And I left that that touched my heart. Every time I see that guy now, I remember that. And I go out of my way to speak to him. That act of kindness, that sweetness, that, oh, you hurt your foot. I hope you're okay. I hope your foot feels better soon. That just touched me. I mean, I still remember it. I'll never forget it. It was so sweet and lovely. But that's what I mean by bringing joy to people. Just something as simple as that. So I'm kind of really blabbing much longer on this than I had anticipated. But anyway, you get the point. So that's another thing I'll be doing this year. And I'm going to just do monthly check-ins on what's happening with that. And I hope they will be much quicker than this was this month. So I used a lot of 18 decks in January. 18. But happily, the ones I used most frequently were two that I had talked about in my decks to use in winter. And the first one is this Carol Hauser one. the Starlight Illuminated. I've talked about this on my channel before, and you can't see the glitter, but it's sad. I wish I knew why. But this was gifted to me. Oh, is this upside down? Yeah. Are they all upside down? Sorry. Anyway, this I used like 6 or 7 times in the month of January. And as I said, one of the reasons it was on my list to use in January was because it's blue. It's got a lot of blue in it. And I associate with blue with the month of January. So that is why that deck was on my list. And then the Oracle is Endless Oracle by Eric Mail. And again, it's the color palette that attracted me to this deck for January. So I did use this a number of times as well. And I'm going to continue to work with it throughout the rest of the winter because I feel like it does have a little bit of a wintry feeling to it. So that is the Oracle deck that was my favorite in the month of January and that I used the most in January. And then I just wanted to share with you a spread that I did just a few days ago at the end of January. And it was from Tarot de Saint Croix. And I consider this deck to be kind of an orange, fiery colored deck. But when I laid these 3 cards out, the 8 of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the High Priestess, it was on my altar cloth that at the time it was blue and silver. And I saw how much blue there were in these 3 cards. And I thought, who knew? Of course, this is the borderless version. The original version, which I also has orange, sort of terracotta borders. But this was a really powerful reading. And I think, did I write it down? Yes. Following my heart will set me free. Listening to my heart and my inner voice and my wise woman self will set me free. So that was, a 2-sentence reading, but it really hit me. And it really, I've been leaving these cards out because I don't want to forget about following my heart will set me free. And listening to my inner voice will set me free. So that's that. And now my, I didn't even finish Rose. I'm sorry, I digressed. Rose. This is not a rose. This is a fragrance. But the reason I'm using it is it just smells so much like roses, true roses in a garden. It doesn't have a cloying, artificial. I got this at a, what's it called? Spiritus Arcana or something. It's in Peabody, Mass, which is right next to Salem. And it's great. It's for fragrance, it's great. So I've been wearing that. And then I've been using my own hydrating, you can see how beat up the label is, rose mist, which I spray around. It is made with rose water, rose flower essence that I made, and rose quartz gem essence that I made. So that I've been using. And then this is called the Aurum Lavender Rose Cream by Uriel Pharmacy. This is an anthroposophical medicine pharmacy. And this is a cream that you just take like a teeny, weeny dab of and rub it on your heart chakra. I've also been putting it on my throat chakra because I want to speak words of loving kindness. So that has been a rose. And then I have been taking the rose petal elixir that I speak about so frequently on this channel on a daily basis. And then I've also been working with this beautiful rose quartz rose. It's in the center. You can't see it. Can you see it? Yeah, over there. Over there. It's in the center. That's a crystal grid that I laid out at the end of the year, winter solstice, that I'm going to keep up for a while. But why I started talking about Rose when I then went off onto the loving kindness thing was because Rose is heart healing on a physical and metaphysical level. And I feel like that is something that is really, really, really needed in our world right now, individually and collectively. So I will be continuing to work with all these different Rose products for the foreseeable future. All right. Last but not least, ta-da! Sorry, this is going on longer than I had ever anticipated. 2 new decks that I got in the month of January. The first one is this, Maria Tarot. It was a Kickstarter, and it's one of these lovely magnetic boxes. These I think are my favorite boxes for decks to come in. It's by Masha Kulinovic, who lives in Italy. And it's a, well, I'm going to read from the guidebook because Masha says it so beautifully, better than I can. So here's the foreword, and this is the card that she's speaking about in this intro. The idea for the Maria Tarot was conceived in March 2020 during the lockdown. My friends from the art club Marseille from Livorno asked me to create a work for a virtual exhibit to commemorate April 25th, the anniversary of Italy's liberation from fascism. Inspired by the Tower card, I created a linocut print entitled La Liberazione dell'Anima, the liberation of the soul. This project kindled my passion for the Thoth Tarot and sparked my decision to reimagine Crowley's unique system in a contemporary way. The Maria Tarot is an ode to both Thoth conception and Lady Harris's powerful design, which influenced this project as the moon influences the tides. And in fact, Maria means tide in Italian. So this is a Thoth deck re-envisioned for the modern reader, a combination of photos, drawings, and textures which reference contemporary life while remaining faithful to Lady Harris's original vision. It took over a year to make all the cards, working every single day, and another 6 months to write the instruction booklet. Be kind. I am not a writer, and English is not my mother tongue. You'd never know it. This guidebook is unbelievable. And I assure you, making the synthesis of such a complex thing is not easy at all. The book should be just a starting point that will lead you to deepen your own explorations. The Maria Tarot has been a long and difficult project, but it has helped me to break out of my shell and free my soul. I hope it will help you along a similar path. How lovely is that? So I just kind of on a whim backed this. I just thought, well, I can't with the actual Thoth deck because I just can't with Crowley's energy. I can't. And I know people love him, but I don't. So I thought I'd like to have a Thoth deck in my collection, but I can't do Crowley. So I'll back this. So let me show you. Well, this is one of the cards, and this looks familiar. We see it in the original Thoth. This is the Tree of Life and the different pathways. And I thought I'd just quickly show. I'm going to do a walkthrough of this deck and the other new deck I got. So here we are. Oh, look at that High Priestess. I'm going to have to put that in my High Priestess video for next week. So you can see the splendor of these colors. Oh, she has included multiple lovers cards. The colors, I just think this is glorious. I absolutely love it. I have not used it yet, but I am really excited about using it. The guidebook is amazing, and I'll just quickly point out a couple things I love about it. So here are the majors, and you can see how they are influenced by Frida Harris's artwork. So that's the majors. And then in the guidebook, we get 2 pages for each card, a color thumbnail, and then she talks about the number of the card. So here's the Hierophant, 5, and she talks about the numerology, she talks about the astrology, she talks about the Hebrew letter, she talks about the tree of life path, and then she talks about the symbolism for each of the majors. And then the minors are pretty same thing. So this is amazing, and this guidebook is chock full, really excellent. But one of the things that I really, 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 really love that I didn't realize we were going to get is this fold out. It's got a coating on it, so it's not going to wear out. So you can see here, oops, sorry, upside down again. Here we have the Tree of Life, but my favorite thing is this. It's the Deccan wheel. Yay! So let me go to where we are now, Aquarius. So we're in Aquarius 2. So we have the symbol for Aquarius, and then we have that it's air, it's fixed, it's affiliated with swords, and the 3 swords cards are from the middle of the minors because it's fixed. 5, 6, 7. It has the dates, and it has the symbols of the planets associated with the card. So in this case, it's Venus, Mercury, and the moon for the 5, 6, 7 of swords. So how cool is this and handy? So I'm very excited about that. So that deck was a total surprise, and I'm thrilled because I backed other decks on Kickstarter last year, and the first 3 that came in, I didn't like any of them. Like, really didn't speak to me. I already traded one. The other 2 I'm going to either trade or rehome or sell or whatever. So then finally, this came in, Rooted Woman Oracle, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going on a really long blah blah, and I want to do a walkthrough of this. But this is by Sharon Blackie, who has written a number of books, one of which is Haggitude, which I am reading. Rooted Woman, Rise Up, Rooted Woman is another one. And then the artist is Hannah Willow. And I love that. That's what attracted me to this deck, was Hannah's artwork. I do have 2 of her oracles. So let me just quick show you. This is by Hay House. And, it was a little bit pricier than most Hay House decks, but it's really, the presentation is lovely. The cardstock is shuffleable. And I'm just going to go through maybe 2 or 3. Here we go, cards. So there's suits, 3 suits, and the guidebook is really great. I really love this one. Sharon did a lovely job on the guidebook. I'd love to know more about the collaboration between Sharon and Hannah. I don't know how much collaboration there was, but anyway, that came in, and I've already used it a couple times. I just got it a couple days ago, and I did a reading for a friend yesterday and pulled a card from here, and it was powerful. So, blah, blah. I'm going to try to end before 40 minutes. My goodness. those are my January favorites. I hope you had a great month of January. I was really surprised at how chocked full my January ended up being. It was a lot of fun. I had some fun activities. I had some lovely favorite cards and herbs and animals to explore. So anyway, peace and blessings to you all.